Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's reads. For the main part of the reads, I'm using the Star Tarot by Kathy McLeland. Here's the front of the box. And in case you want to see the spelling for Kathy McLeland, there's the spelling. There's the website. There's also a website, kathymcleland.com. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you're interested. Supportive Oracle cards, a deck I really enjoy. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. This one is rockpoolpublishing.com.au. A as in apple, U as an umbrella. And I use dice. The dice I use are standard, well, not really standard, but like they're number dice. I got a 1 through 22 for the major arcana. I substitute 22 for 0 for the Fool, and then I have a 1 through 14 for the minor arcana, and then I have a 4-sided dice to choose the element that's going to match up with that. They are from, I think it says mathartfun.com. I can't read it on the camera, but hopefully you can see it if you want to see where to get those dice. Check stuff out. Feel free. Alright. Of course, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. This is James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, same email. The information for that is below. And now, let's go on to your reading. Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Taurus? Didn't Virgo have that? Curious ending here. Because I think you're going to get what you want, but for some reason, it's almost like I got what I wanted, but it didn't work out the way I thought it would. So it's like, on paper it looks right, but why doesn't it feel right? It's kind of like one of those things. This situation has been a lot. Even for Taurus. And I know Taurus can handle a lot, but it's like, I feel like there's been a lot of random energy, and you've been keeping it going, you've been keeping it steady. It reminds me of somebody I know that's a Taurus that has a lot of kids, and they're like, it's madness, you just got to accept it, and you got to roll with it. And succeeded through a lot of things here. You've succeeded through a lot, but this has been a lot. This situation has been a lot. You've made it through it. You've done it. I feel like there's so much here that you could sit down and try to figure out how you got where you are, but that would take a long time all on its own. It's kind of like, you know you've made some really good decisions, but it's like, at this point, it's like, I don't know, it would take a lot to remember all of how I got where I am. Because it's very complicated. But I feel like if you really pressed yourself, you could figure it out, yes. A lot of random energy. I keep getting that. A lot of random energy. Even though there's a lot of random energy, you're stabilizing it. It's almost like, all right, all this, we're going to keep this over here because I know what it does. I can't control it all. I'm not even going to try to. I'm just going to try to control where it is. I'm not going to try to control it, but I'm just going to kind of keep it kind of like roped off into this area over here. Do the best with that. You've been rolling with it. You've been doing your best with it. It's still that energy at the moment, but I feel like at the moment it's kind of like I've had enough of it. Is that what this is? I feel like I've had enough of it. Is something ending? I don't know. I'm not convinced it's ending, but I feel like I've had enough of it. I just don't feel like it's balancing out anymore, and I feel like if it keeps going, it's because I'm keeping it going. I don't feel like the balance is here anymore. If it was at one point, it might have been there at one point, but the balance doesn't feel like it's there anymore. And it's like, it only keeps going because I keep it going. You might have had support in the past, It doesn't feel like there's enough of it there at the moment. And I feel like you have to make the judgment about what you're going to do with this. It's time to decide what you want from it. It's time to decide where it's supposed to be. This is the beginning of the change. It's very slow, but that's fine. It's kind of like I feel like I need to sit down with myself, and I have to be like, all right, the only reason it's still going is because I'm making it go. Where should this be? I feel like that's where I have to start. Where should this be? It's not about where it is. It's about where I need to balance. I need to rebalance and kind of like really think it out. Like, where is this? Where is it supposed to be? Where should it be if things were working correctly? If things were working correctly, go that route. Where should this be? Because it shouldn't all be on your shoulders. And I keep getting like, I don't think you're going to have time to sleep. So it's kind of like, I don't think you're going to have time to... I don't know. I just feel like you don't have that type of luxury. But I feel like I have to step back, and it's almost like, maybe even when you're driving to work or something, it's like, I feel like you don't have a lot of time to yourself, whoever this is hitting for. I just have to be honest with myself. Also, if I wasn't here to do it, then what would happen? I feel like I have to do that too. That seems to add a little bit more flavor to this in the sense of like, the reality of like, one day I'm not going to be here to do it. So, where should this be if I wasn't here to do it? It takes a lot, because it feels... Taurus is not one to give up. Again, I've said this in other Taurus readings, kind of like, people say, Taurus, you should give up. And Taurus is like, I've heard of this concept. Not really familiar with it, but I've heard of it. Other people do that. It's not really something for Taurus. I just feel like Taurus is like, give up? Interesting. I don't know what that is. If you accept or make peace with where it should be, you will slowly start moving things in that direction. The trick is to not be appeasing people, because once you realize where it should be, your natural energy will be like, this isn't right. It's here, but it should be over here. And you're just going to slowly but surely start working it over where it should be. For some of you, that might be the biggest challenge, is to like make peace with where it should be. If I'm not here to do it, what happens? And because one day I won't be, what do I need? I feel like you'll make peace with it once you see where it should be. Once you make peace with that part, not like making a decision of putting it there, but like where it should be, you'll start naturally doing that. The trick is to not appease other people. This is ironic, but it's not about making other people feel good about it. It's not about how other people want it to happen. That's not going to make this happen. That's not going to help the situation. It's just you slowly but surely making those changes, and like people don't like it, well then they have the ability to make their own decisions, and they're going to have to do that. But it's kind of like not appeasing people. We can't be appeasing people. Once you've started moving on that path, going with your natural energy, and just keep it going slowly but surely, slowly but surely. It's kind of like if you're moving and you're slowly but surely moving from one house to another. Maybe say you have two houses, you're leaving one house, you're going to the other. It could take you a whole year to get there, but the way you do it, everything is functional and everything makes sense while you do it. It may take a whole year for it to happen, but everything goes where it's supposed to. You're getting rid of what doesn't no longer serve you when you're moving things out. You're like, well, I'm not taking this to the new place. Let me find a better place for it. As new things come into the new house, you're putting it where it's supposed to be, and you're like making sure that it's where it's supposed to be, and people know it's going to be there. Could take you a whole year to do it. I know I'm trying to use an analogy that shows like it's going to take a long time. For you, I feel like this is the comfortable way to do it. Kind of like as long as it goes the way I want it to, and the way I want it to, that's fine. I feel like you're fine with that. You can't be slowing down the process or changing the process to make other people happy. You got to do it the way you know is right. I don't think that's mean. Other people might accuse you of being mean, but I don't think it is. You got to stick with your plan. The only reason you would move off from it would be to appease somebody else. And I feel like other people are kind of going like, this isn't what I want, Taurus. You're forcing me to do something I don't want to do. This isn't what I want. You're forcing me to do something I don't want to do. Well, when it's all on you to keep it going, that's not fair. Like, they have the ability to pick it up and do it themselves too, is what I'm also getting. So they can make different choices. If they don't like the choices you're making, they're free to make different choices and live their own life their own way. But if they're going to be connected with you and they're going to go and they want you to do all the work, then it's going to be your way, and that's it. They will come together, especially because I see, I keep getting this moving house analogy, taking a full year. They'll get used to the pattern, they'll make peace with the pattern, they'll fall into the rhythm. They'll start realizing if you've decided it's not going into the other house, they either need to sell it, discard it, or give it away, or you'll do it for them because it's not going into the new house. Vice versa, if it's going to go into the new house, it's kind of like, all right, we have the furniture in the living room, and you're like, well, I've decided this week the couch is going into the new house. And they can either make peace with that and kind of find a different, if they like using that couch, they need to kind of get on board and help you move it and try to find something else to use while they're staying in the old house, or they have to move to the new house and start just accepting there's only certain things in the new house. They have to make peace with it. They will. Because I feel like they're saying, all right, you were only moving slowly but surely. Can we finish off the living room first? You could be like, all right, yes, we can. Or whatever. So can I take, can my bed go next and I can start living in the new house since the couch is going to be in the new house? They can put things like that. You're like, well, not this week, but in a couple weeks, I'll have room. We can do that in a couple weeks, and you can start living in the new house. You're only going to have this, that, and the other thing, so you're going to have to make it work with that. They'll fall in line with it, is what I'm getting. People are going to complain. I don't know. I feel like you can deal with that. I don't know. I don't feel like you're yeah, people complain. I just feel like it's kind of like, yeah, people complain. Keep going. Don't let that hold you back. I don't think you will, but it's kind of see it for the outcome, not for what they don't like in the moment. Remember to do that. See it for the outcome, not for what they don't like in the moment. You're going to see the prosperity here. You can try to talk to it. If other people don't want to see it, they're not going to see it, so don't waste your breath if they don't want to hear you. Especially if they start talking in circles, just move on to something else. Tell them you're busy, go do something else. If you need to revisit the conversation, try to. But if they start talking to you in circles and you're going to know they're doing that, just exit the conversation kind of I got other things I got to do right now. I'll come back and talk with you another time. Keep that in mind. I feel like you know how that goes. At some point, they'll stop getting in your way. Again, I feel like this is another... They'll fall in line. They will. I keep getting this, but they'll act like they were never a problem. I feel like somebody's going to act like, well, this was their idea or something. Okay. It may take a full year for this whole thing to play out. Once it's over, it doesn't seem like it's a problem anymore. We act like it never was a problem for some reason. Things will be more imbalanced. I get this life balance here with this journey, this nature journey. Once you make this decision and you move it where it's supposed to go, it's not only better for you, it's better for everybody else too. People might be fighting it because they don't want the change, but it's literally better for everybody. This is a card that usually fights change. It likes what it likes. It likes to keep things where it is. Even though things move forward, they like things to move forward in the same pattern. They like things to keep moving, but in the same thing they're familiar with. They like to keep moving in the same familiar stomping grounds. They like to go to the same things, the same parks, the same places. They like to keep moving, but where they're familiar with things. That's how I take this card anyway. Sometimes it talks about Cancer energy, which is not bad for you, but I'm getting once it's there, it's almost like we feel... It feels like it's better for everybody, and I just feel like people move on from the fact that they didn't like it. People get over it. You're going to remember because it was annoying, but they'll be fine, just so you know. It's best for everybody in the long run. They will give you pushback, but keep remembering when you get where you need to go, it is the best for everybody. They'll realize it when they're there, once they're settled. Once they're there and they're settled, they'll realize that this was for the better. I don't see them acknowledging that, but I feel like you're going to notice it. Alright, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.